Chicago is one of my favorite cities for a Christmas vacation. From the dazzling lights along the magnificent mile to the enchanting Christmas markets, the city is full of holiday magic each December. Add to that deep dish pizza, ice skating, and walking out on the Willis Tower ledge, and you have the recipe for a fantastic 2-day adventure. Here's all the information on our time in Chicago this December, and let us know what we left off in the comments.
Good morning, we're spending the next 2 days exploring Chicago. First stop though, donuts.
Stan's Donuts is actually created in a partnership with the original Stan's, which was in Los Angeles, and one of my favorite donut shops before it closed in 2020. So I was excited to be able to try the Stan's in Chicago and see how it compared.
I don't know when the next time we're gonna be here is. We got the blueberry, we got the classic gingerbread, we got the croissant donut, and the lemon pistachio. Since this is a Christmas video, I felt like the gingerbread was the perfect one to have for it, so I'm going here first. Good gingerbread flavor, doughy donut, nice icing, good donut to icing ratio, which is important to me. You know I love donuts. Also, they said their coffee is as good as their donuts here, so we'll see.
For a donut place that I was very suspicious about, this is actually really good cappuccino.
Finished our donuts, now we're heading out on a brisk walk along the Chicago Riverwalk in 19-degree weather. Should be fun.
From Stan's Donuts, we headed up Michigan Avenue towards the Chicago River, which is where you can access the Riverwalk.
Chicago Riverwalk, enter here.
As always, check out the Patreon where I include a map of all of these locations in case it helps for your planning. The Chicago Riverwalk is a 1.25 mile pedestrian walkway that leads all the way to Lake Michigan.
Unfortunately, most everything is closed right now. The marketplace is closed. I guess nobody else wants to be out in the 19-degree weather either.
The cold air makes you feel alive for sure. I'm like ready to go. Ready to go.
Plus, how can you be upset when you're looking at beautiful bridges? Is that just me or?
They're very nice. I like them.
I think in terms of architecture you can see in the downtown area, Chicago is probably my favorite big city I've ever been to.
Even though it was 10 o'clock in the morning, because of the cold, we were basically the only people on the Riverwalk at this time. We just took our time walking along the water and soaking in the beautiful views of the buildings towering above you. If you come in the summer, this is a great place to get a drink, have something to eat, take a boat cruise. There's even parks for children to play at, and it's just a great place to walk around. When you reach the end of the Riverwalk, you'll have some great views of Lake Michigan and Navy Pier across the water from you. We didn't go there on this video, but it's a great spot if you come with a family, as they have a fun children's museum and of course the Ferris wheel. For us though, we continued walking along the water before heading inland toward Daley Park.
This is called ice skating the ribbon in downtown Chicago, and I never learned to ice skate. Plus it has downhill, so I think I'd probably kill myself. So Amy's gonna demonstrate how this goes. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Oh, she's ready to go.
I'm so ready.
If you want to do this, be sure to get your reservation in advance as it fills up quickly.
Don't fall right when you get out.
It's been a while. There we go.
Oh no!
That was a bruise to the ego, but
I got you. I have faith in you. You got this.
I don't fall usually.
All right, she's off.
No pressure.
When we went, it was cool because it was actually free most of the time as long as you had your own skates. If you didn't have your own skates, you just had to get a reservation in order to rent them.
She's back. Feeling it now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Just had to get used to it for a second.
Yeah, sure.
After the rough start, Amy progressed quickly, even taking a bunch of video clips while skating on her third time around.
Feels very Christmassy.
I mean, how cool is this spot right in the middle of downtown Chicago with the skyscrapers behind you, and it's a track instead of the normal rink. This is awesome if you're into ice skating. Well done, you crushed it.
That was so fun. I feel like I could keep going, but I'm gonna stop while I'm like doing really good.
Well done.
Definitely don't miss this one if you're into ice skating, plus it's right next to our next stop, which is at Millennium Park. Unfortunately, the famous Clouds Gate, which is also known as the Bean, is closed until early 2024, so we weren't able to see it.
I mean, they provided these beautiful pictures.
It's almost like seeing the real thing right here.
Wait, let me see if you can see my reflection.
Yeah. Oh, perfect, I can see it. Here's the famous Chicago Christmas tree, which is not under construction. We'll see it later on tonight so you can get a better view.
This is the 110th year that they've had the official Chicago Christmas tree. When you see it lit up at the end of this video, you'll understand why it's so impressive. There's also another ice skating rink right next to the tree in the shadow of the bean.
This rink would be really cool to do at nighttime with all the lights, but the Ribbon would be my preferred place during the day.
Are you ready for a Chicago style hot dog?
I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna say yes.
Check it out, it's the Christmas train that they have.
For over 32 years, Chicago has transformed different trains and buses into Christmas experiences each December. Continuing down Washington Street, we headed to Urban Space, which is a large food hall right in downtown Chicago and which had the hot dogs I was seeking out. The hot dog box was created in 2021 by a father-daughter duo, and multiple people told me that I had to try it when I was in downtown Chicago. I went with the classic Chicago-style hot dog, and Amy went with the Bronzeville Bourbon, which was voted one of the best hot dogs in America recently.
Something you might not know about me is that I love a good Chicago style hot dog. And look at that. That looks pretty primo. Oh yeah, high quality hot dog. You got that strong relish, a little bit of mustard, the celery salt to bring the flavors out. I am very excited, not disappointed at all.
That is really good. I'm a little concerned I didn't order this versus what I ordered.
That might be one of the best Chicago style hot dogs I've ever had. Now it is officially time to live out our big city Christmas dreams at the Chicago Christmas Market.
I'm so excited about this. It looks like it's going to be so magical.
The Christkindlmarket is a German Christmas market which is often voted the best in the United States. This tiny market can see upwards of 1 million visitors in one Christmas season, and people come from all over to experience it. The market has been running here since 1996, and it has all sorts of vendors selling everything from different food items to souvenirs you can purchase.
Chicago mix of candy pecans, cashews, and almonds, and I don't think I'm going to share.
Those are some smart pigeons. They're all hanging out by the fire.
Those are city birds. They know what's up.
All right, two things I noticed: the smell of the raclette, which we're gonna try later for dinner, and there's a lot of people here.
We spent about an hour just walking around and exploring the shops as we planned to come back later in the evening for dinner. A few of our favorites were the Bethlehem Nativity Products shop, which sold handcrafted olive wood items from Bethlehem and Jerusalem. The ornament shop with all sorts of fun ornaments you could bring home for your friends. And the sweets shop that had gingerbread cookies, different truffles, and all sorts of imported sweets. Oh, and of course there was the always classic Krampus shop for all your Krampus-related needs.
You better watch out, Krampus will get you.
I'm a little terrified. I'm just learning about this. Krampus. Thank you for being out here. The market was so fun and festive. It's a bit crowded, but everyone's super cheery and in the holiday spirit, so I highly recommend coming. And I keep getting whiffs of the raclette, and I'm not excited about eating it. It smells terrible, but I'm hoping it tastes better than it smells.
We will see you later tonight when we come for dinner, and now we are heading down to Willis Tower. There it is, the Willis Tower, and we are going all the way to the top.
The Willis Tower was originally named the Sears Tower, and it was built in 1973. When it completed, it was one of the largest office buildings in the world with over 1,500 miles of electrical cable in it. It was renamed the Willis Tower in 2009, which is also when they installed the Sky Deck and the Ledge attraction that brings over 1 million people each year to experience.
That is a tall building. Are you ready to walk out there?
Ready. Are you ready? We were a bit nervous last time we did this.
Before heading up to the Sky Deck, there's an exhibit with a lot of information on the city's history, its architecture, and an area where you can even take selfies if you want.
I'm just gonna get a huge bite, just lay on this pizza.
This thing is huge.
Actually, I think I would rather have this hot dog that I had earlier. It was so good.
It looks just like the hot dog.
This is a comedy show, so are you gonna give us your best joke right here?
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies!
That was really good. Thumbs up?
From there, it was up to the sky deck on one of the fastest elevators in the world, which travels at 1,600 feet per minute. Skydeck sits on the 103rd floor, and you get basically 360-degree views in every direction. Their site says that you can see up to 50 miles away on a clear day, since everything is so flat in this part of the United States. It's fascinating to look at Chicago from up here. It feels like Lego blocks or something that have been put into the city to build it up.
Is that one Minecraft?
It feels like Minecraft. Amy plays a lot of Minecraft.
Totally.
Of course, the main reason to come up here is for the ledge, which are 4 glass boxes that extend 4 feet outside of the tower. The floor, walls, and ceiling of the ledge are all clear glass, and it's pretty freaky to walk out there, especially if you're afraid of heights. There's nothing below you at all.
No.
Oh my gosh. They give you exactly 1 minute to take your pictures, and we went back and got in the line a second time. Leave a comment, let me know if you think Pops will do this.
That's a legit production. They just get you through there so quickly with their little alarms and everything, but it's fun that they let you take a couple pictures yourself out there too. All right, now we're heading back to the hotel to relax before going back to the Christmas market for dinner.
This is not sponsored, but I do want to give a special shout out to the Cambria Hotel. It was less than a block away from the Christmas market, and it was less than $100 a night when we went on the off season. I'm sure it gets more expensive as the season continues, but it was a great hotel right in the middle of everything and perfect if you're not driving a car.
All right, we got all bundled up for the cold and we're heading out to finish the night with dinner at the Christmas market.
After the sun went down, the weather dropped and it was about 15 degrees outside. Don't get me wrong, this is incredibly cold, but it ended up being pretty lucky for us as there was way fewer people here at night due to the cold, and we were able to head over really easily since our hotel was so close by. Even though I thought the market was fun during the day, I have to say there's just something special about being in the freezing cold weather and seeing the beautiful Christmas lights at night. As someone who lives in California and is used to it being warm and brown in December, it was nice for it to actually feel like Christmas time here.
That looks like good whipped cream.
Our first stop of the night was to get something warm to drink.
This is Bob's Belgium hot chocolate. We were told you have to try it. Comes with a gingerbread cookie. Ooh, that's really good.
That is some decadent whipped cream on there and it tastes like a melted chocolate bar. Amy did not react the way that this is worthy of. This is very good hot chocolate.
Very warm. I was happy to be warm.
After that, it was on to one of the most polarizing food items at the market, the raclette sandwich. This famous European sandwich is known because of its stinky cheese, and honestly, you can smell it throughout the entire market. The cheese is normally aged for around 3 months, and when the sandwich is being made, they heat the cheese wheel under a light and then scrape the cheese off as it melts. It's pretty impressive to see, but I was a little bit nervous to try it with the way that it smelled.
This is the famous sandwich that you have to get here with this melted gooey cheese just coming right down the side. It smells a little interesting, but I'm excited to give it a try. Oh yeah, that cheese tastes way better than it smells. Gooey, creamy, huge fan, definitely go here.
Ooh, I actually really like that. It's like a really strong brie cheese maybe. It's the best I can describe it. With some ham in there. Mmm.
It's good dinner.
Uh-huh.
Last order of business, what do we got?
We got glühwein. It's like mulled wine. Ooh, it's like a warm hug. It's freezing and delicious out here.
By this time, it is right around 8 p.m., which is when the market starts to close down.
We're shutting this place down with our multiple drinks. That is it for today. We will see you tomorrow.
Also, make sure to bring gloves or else you'll end up with something like this, but I'm not even upset about it. These are actually pretty cool. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Day 2 in Chicago, starting with Intelligentsia coffee.
I've been going to Intelligentsia for years in Los Angeles, and before this trip, I actually thought it was an LA-based company. Come to find out, it was based in Chicago and opened in the 1990s, and I had to go and visit one of the Chicago locations.
I feel like I should know what this spoon is for, but I have no idea.
We got coffee and a pastry, and it was just as good as it always is before heading on to our first stop.
Next up, we're heading down to the Museum of Science and Industry, which is about a 20-minute train ride. Public transit is a little bit difficult when you're not from the city, but once you understand it, it's pretty good getting around Chicago.
Now approaching 56, 56. Watch your step while exiting at 56.
Museum of Science and Industry is awesome. If you've never been in Chicago, you absolutely have to go there. But the reason we're going on this Christmas video is that they have this Christmas exhibit with trees from all around the world that they've been doing since the 1940s, and so I really wanted to see it.
The first thing you'll notice when you enter the exhibit is the giant 4-story tall tree right in the middle.
That is a really big Christmas tree.
Surrounding the grand tree and interspersed in the other permanent exhibits are 50 more trees representing different countries and how they celebrate Christmas all around the globe. According to the museum's website, this all began in 1942 with a single tree. I was honestly surprised by how busy it was. It was very popular and there were so many people looking at all of the different trees. I have to say though, I could have spent a half day here just walking around and learning more about each of the cultures.
Where's this tree from?
Hungry. I think this is my favorite one so far.
If you make it all the way down to the museum, then I recommend you check out a few more exhibits while you're there. This is one of the best museums I've ever been to, and I always love spending some time here. A few exhibits that I love are the model trains and the massive landscape and city they've constructed for the trains to go around. The science area that has an actual tornado that you can see, and the U-505 submarine exhibit. I'm always shocked that they were able to get a submarine down into the basement of this museum and display it so well.
That's easily one of the best museums you can go to in the United States. It's incredible, but definitely come early, especially on the week before Christmas as it's really busy. Now we're heading back into the city.
On the way back, we utilized the bus system instead of the train as Google Maps said it was going to be faster. It picked up right outside of the museum and it was an easy ride back into downtown Chicago that only cost a couple bucks.
We made it back into the city.
Yep.
Let's find somewhere to
Look at
leave.
those lions.
Look at the lions first.
The lions outside of the art museum are pretty iconic, decorated for Christmas.
The last time I was at this spot is when I completed the Route 66 drive with my dad. You can watch that up here if you're interested, but it's cool to be back.
For our lunch spot, we headed to a restaurant called Cindy's, which is on the rooftop that overlooks Millennium Park.
Just press the Cindy's button and you'll get there.
Cindy's has been a loved brunch spot for as long as I can remember, with their great food and incredible views.
This is the reason you go to Cindy's. Look at this view.
If you come on a weekend, I highly recommend you get reservations in advance.
There's where you were ice skating at just yesterday. Seems like forever ago, huh?
It does. A lot has happened since then.
Of course, the view wouldn't matter if the food wasn't good, but I've been here a couple times and I'm always impressed with how good it is. The Korean fried chicken sandwich is my favorite, but Amy got the trout burger this time and she really liked it as well.
Cheers. Got ourselves another round of Intelligentsia. That coffee shop is amazing. We're heading to Macy's to explore all their Christmas stuff.
The Macy's on State Street is located in the historic Marshall and Field Company building that was built in the early 1900s. This massive department store is a popular spot to visit during Christmas in Chicago, as it has lots of windows you can look into and lots of Christmas decorations on its many floors.
We finally made it to the 7th floor, which is where everything's supposed to be at.
The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the historic Walnut room, where they have a tree that people come from all over to see.
The ratio of decorations to tree is a little bit off. You can barely see the tree. There's so much cool stuff up on there.
The restaurant here opened in 1907 and the tree has been a staple for over a century. You can't actually go into the restaurant unless you have a reservation, so you have to take it in from behind the wall.
I didn't think we were going to be able to see that tree because we didn't have reservations, but you can see it right here, which is cool. And if you want reservations, get them way in advance. I tried about a month ago, and it was sold out all the way until the end of January.
On the same floor, there's lots of information you can read about the history of the building, plus there's a Christmas shop with all sorts of things you can purchase. Also, I was told you can sign up to meet Santa here, but I didn't see anything related to that when I was there.
That reminded me a lot of the one in San Francisco. Very cool to see during the Christmas season. We're gonna do a few more things before we end this video.
We had reservations at the Lincoln Park Zoo later, so we decided to walk the 2.5 miles there past Chicago's famous Magnificent Mile.
Man, Chicago is just a cool city. Every time I see views like that, I love it.
While the Magnificent Mile is one of the most popular shopping areas for people visiting the city, it's also one of the best decorated Christmas areas as well, so even if you don't want to shop, you're definitely going to want to walk around down here. All along the streets, there's Christmas lights on the mini trees, Christmas ornaments at their bases. There's historic hotels with their own Christmas decorations, and even holiday pop-ups in many of the stores. One of Amy and I's favorite places on the Magnificent Mile is the Starbucks Roastery. As you know, we love coffee, and even though we don't frequent Starbucks locations when we travel, it's pretty cool what they're doing with their coffee here. This building has 4 floors you can experience, with each floor having great seating that looks out over the street. On the top floor, they're doing interesting things with coffee and actually making cocktails you can try as well. Then on the 3rd floor, they're basically unleashing their coffee scientists, and you'll find a lot of things here that you'll not find in any other Starbucks.
Amy is trying the whiskey barrel-aged cold brew.
How can that be bad? It tastes like the most smoothest kind of old-fashioned, but cold brew.
With no alcohol.
No alcohol, but it's delicious.
After hanging out for a while at the Starbucks Roastery, we continued our walk towards Water Tower Plaza.
There's just so much beautiful Christmas stuff to see on this walk. Look at that hotel.
Towards the end of the Magnificent Mile, you'll reach the historic Water Tower.
This is the old Chicago Water Tower, basically the only thing that survived the Great Fire in 1871, and it looks so pretty at nighttime.
The water tower was surrounded by trees decorated with Christmas lights and a large Christmas tree right at the base. It was beautiful to see at dusk and the perfect end to our walk along the Magnificent Mile.
We've been walking for about 2 miles to experience Chicago, but we have made it to Zoo Lights. Now we just gotta figure out how to get on that side of the fence.
The Lincoln Park Zoo has been a staple of Chicago for over a century, and they've been doing the Zoo Lights for over 25 years now.
Never pass up a good light tunnel.
Arriving for Zoo Lights is like being whisked away to a magical wonderland where the zoo is taken over by hundreds of thousands of Christmas lights. You walk the normal paths, but instead of seeing animals, you see light shows, light tunnels, there's vendors, music. It's just an overall fun time.
This light show is worth the price of admission by itself.
I can't play this song because of a copyright violation, but note that it's an awesome light show and that you can sit there and watch it for a while.
The best part about this is that the zoo is normally free, and so for this event it was only like $7 to come, which is a very good price considering what we pay for something like this in California. I like this light rhino and this other rhino having a standoff.
If this is something you want to go to, be sure to get your tickets in advance, especially for the weekends. You have to select specific entry times and they often sell out. Amy and I walked around for another 45 minutes or so, just enjoying all of the different lights they had before making our way out of the zoo.
And in our time at the Zoo Lights, and only one thing left to do in this video, get some deep dish pizza.
Since we had already walked 2.5 miles to get to the zoo, we took an Uber back to Millennium Park and then went to Giordano's. Whenever I'm in the city, I usually go here, Gino's, or Lou Malnati's. I always have a good experience at any of those three. If you've never ordered deep dish pizza before, be sure you come hungry as the slices are very thick, full of cheese and toppings, and then the pizza sauce is on the top. Also, make sure you have time to wait, as it generally takes about 40 minutes for them to make a pizza once you order it.
All right, deep dish to end our time in Chicago.
We walked a lot today. Hi, dessert.
I don't know how this compares to the best pizza in Chicago, so be sure to let me know in the comments. But I have to say, I'm not disappointed. It's so good. I don't know, I couldn't eat it all the time, but Chicago style hot dog and Chicago pizza have a special place in my heart. Awesome way to end the day. We have one more thing to do, and that's to see the Christmas tree.
We figured there was no better way to end the video than to see the official Christmas tree of Chicago. Didn't I tell you it looks a lot better at night than it does during the day?
And there's the closed off bean one more time. And with that, our time in Chicago is done. Thanks for exploring with us for Christmas. We'll see you on the next one.